Joining me now, retired Army Captain David Christian, a Green Beret and Senate military advisor.
We have Germans, we have Russians. I mean, there are a number of people that are making a lot of money from Iraq. We're back to winning hearts and minds. And the media, there's a ghost of Vietnam here. And the media keeps saying, this is Vietnam.
Bin Laden also happens to have Geraldo Rivera, one of the prominent newscasters.
Who's right on his tail.
Right there.
His tail.
You know, I remember JFK and Robert Kennedy were together, and this is in the 60s, and they said, who in politics is not a political opportunist? I wish I could have taken and led the New York City Police Department into Afghanistan, and I think we would have kicked his butt.
Run, Christian, run.
Well, our nation's at war, and some people don't realize our nation's at war. Some people haven't taken the time to even pause for a second to thank their neighbor, thank their friend, and say, you know, thank you, it's Veterans Day, thanks for sacrificing on the battlefield. My reconnaissance ranger outfit, we were behind enemy lines, and we were actually saved because we went into the tunnels. You think that you have to be more sensitive because you had constituents that died in 9/11.
Let me begin with you, David. We have to remember small arms can take down a plane.
Just in terms of, people who have gone overseas to fight against us.
In examining other wars and looking at the history of other wars, you see that some people have gone to the aid of the enemy. Arrogance of power, it's been stated, I think Fulbright once said that.
J. William Fulbright initiated that phrase, yes.
But I don't think we have, we're getting a few months away from September 11th. I mean, we're not a year away from September 11th, but the rest of the world thinks it's a one-time occurrence, and they fail to realize they were our friends at September 11th. They hated terrorism. They were against terrorism. What I see is fair-weather friends, and I do see Iraq as somewhat of a nuisance to us, as a thorn in our side, but it's going to cause a breakup of the coalition and the allies there.
What are your thoughts on Veterans Day? A man that's seen battle and sees people and also knows the political reality of the situation.
Veterans Day, Memorial Day is to remember the dead, and Veterans Day is, I think, a combination of the two. And I have flashbacks, and I see, flames-licking folks that have crashed in choppers, and we're pulling them out of choppers. And I see machine guns ripping across a guy's chest and holding a man in my arms as he dies, a guy named James Gideon Scott from Rochester, New York. And I think that on Veterans Day, as my unit, and I send an email to all the guys in my unit, they couldn't have done more for America, and they did so much, and they're so forgotten so fast. And every day, a veteran is a veteran, 24 hours a day, 24/7, and America can take a second and reflect on those veterans. There's a lot of them walking around right now. We're hearing about the dead, but there's a lot of guys down in Walter Reed and Ramstein, a number of hospitals, and gals that are hurting, dragging a leg, carrying a leg over your arm, getting a new glass eye made that matches your other eye. I'm thinking about those folks and what they're going to face in life. And I remember how I had to face it with a young wife and hoping someday for a little house and the white picket fence. And that's what they're looking forward to. We have to do for them. We have to make sure there's jobs for those veterans. We have to make sure there's veterans' preference for those veterans. We have to make sure that the Congress that starts the war can create things for the veterans. And that's the things that fire me up, and I will go to war for the veterans to make sure they have what they deserve.
You just did. Thanks a lot, Captain. We appreciate it.
Thank you both.
Good to have you here.
I think we should use our allies as we are right now, using American Air and our allies as we've done throughout this whole conflict. I think they know the mountains, it's their country. They happen to know the area very well, and they know where the enemy is going to be.